that Speaker Pelosi and Reid have come up with their compromise bill, and that's going to be announced soon. And I just started chuckling. I just said, are you telling me that before we have a summit to get our input, they're going to announce their bill? I said, oh, this is just too good. I mean, this is comedy writing at its best. NBC should be picking this stuff up. But that's evidently what's going to occur. So the summit is going to be exactly what we all thought it would be, and it's just a little press dog and pony show, and that's all it's going to be. But the public will have more confidence that it's a dog and pony show when they release their bill, and then the meeting doesn't become, here's the, let's get your input. It'll be, here's what you're going to have to vote on, and you're going to vote on it, or we're going to villainize you. Well, I'll tell you what, at least in Nebraska, bring it on, baby, because I'm on the right side on this issue. Very seldom have I got a person of reason to come up to me and say, you need to vote for this bill. It's 80% saying, fight it all you can.
How do you think the news media is going to handle that, though? I mean, because he's got them all.
Yeah, the news media is going to be on his side.
Exactly.
And I get constant questions about, why aren't you messaging better? Well, I'll tell you what, we're standing in that forest yelling, but there just isn't anyone listening to us or any media covering us. I've been in D.C. about our alternatives. Every one of those bills I've turned out to you, or major bills, we had an alternative. But you never heard about that, did you? Well, when we invited the president to our conference a couple weeks ago in Baltimore, the retreat, thank you. I got to tell you, I was a little reluctant, but it kind of follows up on you, because I thought, the president coming, it's hard to win this thing. It's on the lure of rhetoric. But we did accomplish one thing. The president said, I've read your bills and your alternatives, and we simply just don't agree with that. There's a couple things in there we liked, and I put them in our bill. So the one thing we want now is every time he gets up and says, you're the party of no, we can sit there and say, but you just told us you read the bills, you read the alternatives. But the point I'm getting to is that I've stood up, especially on this, the cap and trade
Room
one.
for two to stand. Good, I stand in that doorway.
Which were clean, there was no taxes in it. It was pro-nuclear, it was clean coal technologies, all the things that we need to do to make ourselves energy independent, drilling offshore, all of those type of things. I was at the press conference that rolled out all alternatives. How many of you saw that, by the way? You were watching Fox, because that's the only one that covered it.
With all this said, and Congress working on this, the president mentioned in a statement in the paper the other day that if Congress doesn't do something, he will pass all these under executive order. Is that possible?
The answer to that is no. Executive orders by way of policy can only affect the federal government's employees, per se. I mean, now, there are some executive powers over foreign policy. He can issue, for example,
Martial law.
well, he could. You're right. But way of adopting cap and trade or health care, he couldn't do those type of things by executive order. What he can do, and a lot of the talk is that he was going to do this week, is recess appointments. That he was going to take the controversial, for example, the assistant secretary positions that are still open now, and some of the judgeships that he's made appointments to. Frankly, if you look at the numbers, there's been more of the appointees passed at 1 year than Bush ever had, or Clinton had before him, or Bush 41 had. So you would think, listening to the media, that the Republicans have just blocked everything. No, they've only blocked the most radical ones. like the SEIU lawyer that's a real bomb thrower. And if you look at what he says, it's just so radical. Of course, the SEIU is off the charts radical. It makes the Teamsters look like puppy dogs, conservative puppy dogs in comparison. So the SEIU is the Service Employees Union. Yes, sir.
Now, I understand this summit with the president, is this going to be on C-SPAN?
Yes, he wants it televised, so I'm sure it'll actually be on all stations, not just
Well,
C-SPAN.
so they can't be selective and then who they allow to, who they show. You guys, whoever's going to be there for the Republicans, they are going to have a chance to propose something. And it's not just going to be listening to Barack Obama say, this is the way it's going to be, this is the compromise over reached, and you like it.
Yeah.
But you are going to have an opportunity to actually propose some alternatives, and I hope our people are going prepared to do that. And
Yes, and yes, that's our understanding of it.
because up till now, you leave it up to the networks, and they may be there and record the whole thing, but all they show on TV is the little snippets that they want to show. But this is
1 hour, it's gonna, a great summit. 1 hour is all it's allowed, and the full hour will be televised. So,
and they're not, but everybody who speaks during that time will be shown.
Jay Hawk, Rock Chalk.
Well, I just wondered about the, I haven't been able to find anywhere in the Constitution where the federal government can make you pay for healthcare, because that's not the enumerated powers. And I wonder if the Democratic Party is deluded enough to think that this won't go immediately to the Supreme Court.
Oh, there's so many areas that I feel are unconstitutional in that health care bill. And the forced payment more, and by the way, remember they call it, remember in the House bill, this isn't in the Senate bill, but the House bill, it's a tax that you pay. If you opt not to buy insurance, you have to pay a tax. Why is that? Because the government can come in and arrest you, and if you don't pay your tax, it's a lot easier to convict you of tax evasion. And that's why it's done that way. It's just, I'll tell you what, that's, to me, that's blatantly unconstitutional. We don't even have to discuss the enumerated powers issue. And it's so anti-American, it's against everything we stand for. Patriot Act.
Second ago, you talked about how when Obama was elected and Democrats were elected, that happened because the American people wanted change, because they felt that Congress wasn't working for them. So my question to you is, why were you not working for the American people when Bush was in office?
Well, I thought I was, to be quite honest.
A $700 billion bailout bailing out Wall Street, and also cash for bunkers last year. You know, how's that working for the American people, Congressman? And I don't know who is checking your or giving you a grade here at the NTF.
National taxpayers.
I don't know who's checking it, but in my book, Congressman, I read the Constitution. I know what fiscal conservative is, and you get an F in my book.
By the way, he does this to me all over Omaha.
Hey, if you vote the right way, you don't have anything to worry about.
You made your point.
What the hell do you do?